Okay, let's get it. Cruz Show, Power 106, #1 for hip hop. Quality follow on Instagram. Good dude. And I'm saying that because I just met him 10 minutes ago. You know what I mean? And he's a great guy. Gary V is on the Cruz Show.
Gary V.
Yo.
Gary V, you're a bar, my guy. Hip hop celebrates you.
Thank you, my man.
Young entrepreneurs celebrate you. You're celebrated on the gram. I'm sure you have your skeptics as well.
Of course. Listen, when you put pressure on bullshit, people don't like it.
Pressure on bullshit.
When you call people's things out, not because you're trying to be cool, but because you know that if they actually look themselves in the mirror, that's the beginning of them winning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the fact that 35% of people don't like me at first because I'm exposing their, excuses, and that hurts.
Insecurities as well, maybe?
Of course. I mean, if when I talk about don't buy Supremes and Off-Whites, it's not that I don't want you to buy Supremes and Off-Whites. I don't want you to buy them if you feel terrible inside and buying a $400 piece of apparel makes you feel better for an hour and then you feel like shit again because your credit card bill is higher, right?
That's right,
But if you've got the money and you love it and you're a fashion head, mazel tov.
Sure.
But
if you're wearing Supreme, you're wearing Yeezys, right? You're also gaining some social currency.
Yeah, but you know what? Fake it till you make it means nothing. Like social currency that doesn't manifest in anything. Like when you really get deep, when I read my DMs for real, when people make the click, right? They're trying to impress people they don't even like. That's why it got so quiet here for a second. Everyone's like, wait a minute. It got so quiet.
Hey, Gary, I don't need you telling me what my problems are.
Respect.
Do you think social currency could ever turn into actual currency?
Yes,
Of course it can. Of course it can. Here's the problem.
That's what he's done, I believe.
Yeah, but I did it in reverse, right? Like I first built a $60 million business.
And
then I was 34. Then I kind of said, yo, I might have some thoughts on this.
Sure.
What's happening now is people are renting chains, getting fake $100 bills, jumping over the fence. My friends, people are jumping over the fence at airports to stand in front of a private plane like they're going on that private plane and then hoping they're not getting arrested and jumping back out so that they can show people that they're doing it with the hope that somebody then pays them to show up to a party.
Sure.
That kind of currency is not going to play out. Here's why. Back in the day that worked out. The problem is there's cameras everywhere. There's people everywhere. It's hard to hide. And somebody's going to know that you're full of shit.
But social media influencers, that's a gig. That's a high-paying gig if you do it right.
100%. And I believe in it tremendously. You're wearing a Champion t-shirt. Champion, right? LaCroix sparkling water. Stan Smith's. These brands were built on Instagram influencers. So I believe in it, but too many people are fronting, and fronting always leads to depression.
True.
And that's a mistake.
Fronting always leads to depression. I like that. That's a tweet. At best. You feel me?
It is.
Put that in your bio on the gram. Who turned you into this guy? Did something turn
America and my mother.
Your mom?
And adversity.
What did mom say?
Mom said, you're the best. But when I did wrong shit, she punched me in the face. I was born in the Soviet Union. I didn't come up with much. So adversity, America, my mom, and my dad, because when I was 14 and started working at my dad's liquor store for $2 an hour, I was so full of shit. I had all this, right? And he sucked it out of me over 10 years because he hates lying and bullshit. And so he scared me. I was scared to embellish, let alone lie. So a lot of the natural bullshit that I think I came with, which makes me a showman and gets a lot of the stuff that people are like, okay, is this guy for real or completely? I think I get it. I don't get upset when people are like, yo, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I understand. I actually had that in me, but my dad systematically took it out. So look, when I asked my mom for Sega Genesis, she said, go buy it. When I was 7, it was lemonade stands. It was ripping people's flowers out of their yards. It was shoveling snow. So the hustle, the grind, the environment, and great parenting put me on. And
do you have to be born with hustle, or is that something you can pick up later on in life?
I think hustle. Look, I think there's this has been figured out long before all of us. There's your DNA and there's your environment.
Sure.
I think if you've got nothing, you have to learn how to hunt. If you grow up in the hood and nobody's feeding you, you figure it the fuck out. And so I think hustle is absolutely something that's teachable. And I think it comes from lack of entitlement. A lot of times I talk about the advantages of adversity. And people are like, yo, fuck you, white privilege and all this stuff. And I'm like, I get it. But please understand, you know how to hunt, and the internet's here now. And the internet doesn't care who you are. you can get yours.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got the rogue kind of like DNA to go to Goodwill and flip shit, to wake up at 4 a.m. and stand in line and get 3 pairs of sneakers, to go garage sailing, to go on Craigslist and pick up something for $30 from a free section and flip it on Facebook. Like if you've got that, if you're not fancy, if you're not worried about what other people think, well then you're gonna win in this new era because the internet eliminated the middle that used to suppress you, and now you can get yours.
Is entitlement a disease?
100. I'm scared shitless of properly raising my children because they're going to have so much. And
that has to be hard because you got to give them some type of balance.
my guy, if you ask
There's
me,
beauty in
there's
struggle,
two, listen,
man.
There is.
listen, straight up, and I know the audience, I know the culture, I get it, but
to me.
straight up, if you ask me what scares me more, having way too much or having way too little, it's having way too much.
Way too much.
100%, because that person
But
is
doesn't that fall-
suicidal
doesn't that
and
fall in line
depressed.
with abundance?
Yeah, but people you can't see happiness.
You
What?
gotta
You
feel it.
You feel it.
What? You think that person driving in that Benz is fucking happy?
No.
You think it is when you ain't got shit.
No,
I
no,
get
no.
that.
That
It's
person's not
envy. It's
happy.
grass
It
is
solves your problem.
No, it
100%.
doesn't.
Really
It
do.
doesn't.
You know what it does? It accelerates your problems.
It does.
Money and fame exposes and accelerates your shit.
Well, it exposes the person who you really are.
100,000. You guys know this.
Yeah.
You've seen a bunch of people come through here,
Yeah.
right? People have come through here when they were just starting their careers.
Sure.
2 years later, they popped. They came in here. You're about to figure out exactly who they are. Were they the same person they walked in here 19 months ago?
Yes.
Some do, and they leave, and you're like, yo, thank God, that's good people.
Yep.
And sometimes people come in here and they forgot.
A few people come to mind that remembered.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Nipsey Hussle.
Yep.
A1 since day one.
Love that
Logic,
man.
same guy.
Love
from,
those
from
two.
Jump. You feel me? Ty Dolla $ign from
Love
Jump.
that.
You know what I mean? YG, same guy.
Love that.
You
There's a couple
feel me?
people that have switched up.
A few people that have
Yes.
switched up. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and
But
of course,
that's what it is.
and that's
Karma
what
will get them.
And listen, that's exactly right. And so, like, cool, like people are just not paying attention. Kate Spade had a $250 million empire. She looked super happy to everybody, and guess what? She was so unhappy. She thought that taking her life was a better move.
Anthony Bourdain?
I mean, like, so I don't understand. Like, listen, I get it. You're gonna always think grass is greener, but there's so many people I know that make $40,000 a year and love life, and so many people I know that have $40 million in the bank and hate life. And everybody's saying like, cool, I'll take my chances. I'll be 40 million. I get it, but guess what? That's what the 40 million person's saying too. Like, damn, I wish I wasn't born into this trust fund. People aren't listening. And so eventually we're gonna start analyzing mental happiness,
Right.
and everything is gonna start changing. And the reason I talk about materialistic things, it is the Band-Aid and the makeup of unhappiness for 95%. The other 5% just genuinely have the money and love camouflage and love that designer and just like they're a very artistic person. Cool. But man, stuff
Yeah.
is makeup and Band-Aids for unhappiness.
Bro, you teach so many, right? You teach so many. Have you learned from hip hop? Have you learned anything from sitting down with Nipsey with Logic?
100%. Well, first of all, it's funny. I don't know Ty, but the other three I know I've gotten to know real well, and it's so funny. Like, I'm very instantaneous, right? Like, intuition is basically how I make my decisions.
Yeah.
And like hearing you may know them a little deeper or longer. I love that it reinforces my intuition on that. But yeah, but what I learned from hip hop or the culture happened a long, long time ago. It happened in Edison, New Jersey, but it really, really happened in Newton, Massachusetts. I went to Mount Ida College from 94 to 98. It was, 96% minorities. It was 95% of them on financial aid and well, like, I'm a much better CeeLo and spades player than I am a poker and gin player, And so I learned a lot because I was deep in it. I didn't visit my friend in the hood for a day. For 4 years, I lived deep in it.
Yeah.
And that's when I got a sense of it. And what it taught me that half decade was, oh, this is exactly what I'm about. This is about I like the climb, the competitive nature, the biggest reason I love the one thing that I hate about giving business keynotes and writing business books and making business content that I wish I could be a rapper is I actually love talking shit.
Yeah.
Like
And
that's
we love you talking shit, just so you know.
but as you know, I talk shit kind of theoretically.
Sure.
Yes.
No, I've
What's
seen
great
the video.
about hip hop
Make
is
your life
you can
better.
battle.
Yeah.
For real.
No, I've seen the video. Make your life better, motherfucker.
Yeah, listen, I definitely listen, I got a lot of Jersey and immigrant in me for sure.
Right.
And that's ultimately what it is, right? Like so I live in the corporate world too. The Budweisers, the Chases, the Johnson & Johnson, big companies.
Yeah.
That's my life. I'm, this whole side Gary Vee thing, that's like the sprinkles. What I do for a living is I run a 900-person, $200 million media agency company that I started with my brother. That's what I do. And it's funny, I go in there and some brands they're like, we want to tack 18 to 25 this or this and that. And I always find it funny. This is what everybody does in society. They look at a person, and because they look like something, they think they know something. So let me explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
When I think about marketing to Latinos in America, or African Americans, or white 45, I'm much better at marketing to 18-year-old Latino men in America than I am to 45-year-old white men in America, because I understand their brains better. I understand what makes them tick better.
Sure.
I just do. Now, that to me is fascinating because I think everybody thinks if you look the part, you are the part. Mm-hmm. And that is the big mistake. And that's where people have to get more thoughtful about the inside of the head. For example.
Well, shouldn't you dress for the job that you want? Shouldn't you walk with confidence like you own the company?
Sure, but I don't think dressing. Look, I think dressing. Look, you should walk and dress if it's your truth. Let me tell you about walking and dressing the part when it's not really in your head.
Okay.
You lose with the people that matter. I smell those fuckers out in a second. You're gonna come in to a business meeting with me and fucking in a Ted Baker tight suit and smelling all fresh and looking all the part, and I ask you 2 questions and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? You've been exposed, bitch. So I don't care. I don't give a fuck what you're wearing. Right? Mm-hmm. You could come in with Bape and fucking Kid Robot and fucking Supremes and Off-Whites and walk in and somebody asks you, what do you think about Mixed by Ali? And you don't have a sense of who that is. You've been exposed. So I don't care what you're wearing.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're wearing.
It's about what you think and what you're saying.
It's what you know. It's what you do.
Yeah.
Like to me. Anyway, my guy. No, I don't think that people should dress the part or walk the part unless they are the part, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Because what it is that material things don't validate you as a person.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't.
They
have
get, you know what that's the
shouldn't.
version of? It gives you the upfront lead. I don't want to be leading 27-9 in the first quarter and then lose 108 to 92.
Yeah. Sure. So what you're saying is if you're wearing a suit and you don't know your shit, it's basically a filter.
100,000. Actually, I don't think it's a filter. I think it's a facade. I think it's makeup. I think you're about to get exposed.
Yeah.
And so
Snapchat filter.
And so what happened? And my man, you know what's interesting about it? Where people get tricked is it works on tricking losers.
How so?
People that aren't thoughtful and are also not winning actually then think you are winning. So the reason it works for a minute is it works on other losing players. It's like complaining. Yeah. You know why I hate complaining? The only people that listen to you complaining are other people that are complaining.
Right. Yeah, it's a dead end.
So you're one little fucking circle jerk of fucking losing.
Of losing.
Listen, it is.
Yes.
Oh, man,
now, listen,
Gary Vee is coming
Gary
through
Vee is
today.
here. Gary Vee is here with the
Yes.
truth. He brought the truth with him. You know what I mean? We have 2 guests in here, the truth and Gary Vee.
There we go.
Cruz
Come
Show,
on.
Power 106. Now, Gary, I'm the guy that says you have to put 10,000 hours in. I'm the guy
You
that
like
says,
that Malcolm Gladwell thing.
I'm the guy that says you have to go the long way to get to where you want to go. Now, but
you win me over on that.
But it's
you win me over on that.
2018 now, right? So it's a little
Still,
different.
It's different.
Does that model still stand?
100. Like nobody you know ever made it, without putting in the work. Mm-hmm. You might know somebody who's rich, but they didn't make it. Their grandfather gave them the money.
True.
But nobody who actually made it on some luck shit. I don't even talk, even the people that like Instagram, people are like, yo, what about Instagram? That dude did it for like a year and a half and made a billy.
Yeah.
You don't know Kevin Systrom then. That dude was in the game. That dude went to Stanford and fucking put in the work, networked, Google, it was in the culture for a decade. Mm-hmm. It's like artists. Mm-hmm. You know how it is. Somebody pops and I was like, yeah, I get it. Once in a while, Lil Yachty could do something in his dorm room and fucking pop quick. I get it. But people win the lottery too.
Sure.
Like there is people that win the lottery, but for the 99.9999% of us, like you got to put in the work. Everyone's like, "Oh, Gary Vee." I'm like, "Don't Gary Vee me." For my 20s, from 20 to 30, from 15 to 30, I didn't go anywhere on the weekends. Nowhere. Who did that? Who worked 18 hours a day for fucking 15 years like I did? Then who left college on Friday afternoon to take a bullshit Amtrak down and not even the Acela? stopping every which way on the East Coast
Right.
to then get into Jersey, Woodbridge train station, and then drive to the liquor store, work 2 hours, then go home, sleep for 6, and then work all day Sunday, and then wake up all day Saturday for 13 hours in that liquor store, then wake up Sunday, right, and go back to Boston to go back to school while everybody else was fucking hooking up, fucking having fun,
Living their best
living
life,
their
yeah.
college life.
Right,
So
right,
don't
right.
owe Gary me. You don't know me.
Sure.
I fucking worked every minute of my life.
Sure, but there's people out there, Gary, that don't necessarily subscribe to that, right? That
They're
don't
gonna lose.
necessarily think
They're gonna lose.
that's not the way.
I don't give a fuck about them. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose, and they're gonna rent their suits, and they're gonna have their champagne. And I want to remind everybody under 30, you haven't been punched in the mouth yet, because the economy's been real good for 9 straight years.
Right.
And I want to remind everybody, just because you put entrepreneur in your Instagram title, right? And you went and printed 8 T-shirts that came up with some word that is now your brand, doesn't mean you're a successful entrepreneur. I could put basketball player in my fucking bio. I play ball. Guess what? I don't get paid. There's a big difference between being an entrepreneur and being a successful entrepreneur.
There you go.
But isn't that putting that out in the universe and putting out what you want, manifesting it?
Look, I believe in optimism, right? But if you don't back your optimism or manifestation with fucking work and smarts, nothing is gonna. I can manifest that I want to be the quarterback of the New York Jets, which I would love to be. But if I'm not 6'5", 6'4", and can throw a cannon arm and fucking threw 80,000 footballs between 9 and 18, I'm not going to be the quarterback of the New York Jets.
Gary,
So
I hate to break it to you, man.
fuck.
But your football career's been over.
it's been over. You're right. And by the way, I hate to break it to everybody on Instagram right now that has entrepreneur and manifesting it. Playing 2K for 3 hours a day and smoking blunts, your career's over too.
That part.
What about Fortnite?
Yeah, people
Game-
wasting their time playing Fortnite.
Yo, look, I'm watching all these athletes play Fortnite, and I'm wondering, man, if I was a fucking athlete right now, I'd be so happy because all my homies are playing Fortnite for 8 hours a day, and I'd be in the gym, and I'd be fucking watching film, and I'm like,
There you go.
like
Yes,
there are
you
some
gotta think
dogs.
differently.
There are some dogs right now, like real dogs, watching this Fortnite thing, and they're fired up because they're quietly in a fucking cave right now, working out harder than ever, right?
Yep.
Quietly looking at film of the 16 teams they're gonna play this year, looking at the quarterback's tendencies.
Mamba mentality, Gary.
Ed Reed, Hall of Famer, right? He said something to me the other day. I was in LA last week for the ESPYs. We were just, shooting the shit. And he said that he knew what the team was going to do, running or passing, because of one player on the team that he followed his whole career by the way the guy stepped out of the huddle. That he would watch him, and if the guy put his right foot out to the right and had a hop, he knew they were throwing because he was hyped that he was going to get a chance to get the ball.
Yeah.
And if he went left foot inside, he knew it was a run because the receiver was checked out.
So he's reading it like a magician does almost.
Can you?
That's
a
deep
bar.
right
Guys,
there, though.
that's some
He's
shit,
breaking
right?
it down.
And that's
That's
kind
when
of
you're obsessed.
and
You're
that's
possessed.
and that's what I do. Everybody's out here doing whatever. Fine, cool. Last night in LA, I flew in, had a long day, and for an hour and a half in my bed before I go to sleep, I'm just reading comments on people's content. I'm not listening to Cardi B or World Star or Shiggy. I'm watching what people are saying about them, so I can get into the head of everybody who's listening right now to figure out what they think is fly, what they think is whack, what's an L, what's a W, and I'm just watching like a cobra in the
About observing
grass.
the psyche, right?
100.
Yeah,
How do you find your balance from work and life, I guess?
I love them
This is
both
life,
so
yeah.
much. I love them both so much. Like, I do what I need to do. Like, if I wake up this morning, I'm like, yo, I miss my friends, or I miss my kid. Like, then I'll do it. Like, I don't judge myself. I just live. Like everybody's judging and everybody's letting other people, it's like parenting. Everybody's got their 2 cents on parenting. You don't know my kids. You don't know me. You don't know what we're about. So I think people are just letting other people's opinions. So work-life balance, real easy. I do what I want.
Yeah.
And as long as the 5 to 9 people I give a fuck about the most are cool with it, then I'm good. I'm not worried about somebody be like, I love when people are like, oh, Gary Vee, you can't take the money in the grave, or you're not going to be happy at 90 that you were in the office all the time. You're a fucking idiot. Of course I'm going to be happy. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm happy. And if you're happy laying on the beach your whole life, then go lay on the
That
beach.
sounds so good.
So, like,
Is there anybody in hip hop that's not utilizing this opportunity that they have?
all of them.
Really?
Nobody's squeezing it hard enough. I'm
What
not.
are they missing?
And
What are they not doing?
they don't realize how valuable the attention is right now on social media.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get it. Like they're sitting on their music. Put your music out. Like what do you sit?
Put your music out.
I'm trying to figure out the internet. I'm
God.
obsessed with trying to figure out the internet.
Don't figure anything out. The internet is where people's attention is. You got music, post it on Instagram right
internet
now.
will
You have
figure
9
you
followers, start it. One person might you don't. Everybody thinks you need 1 million followers. What if your one follower is you? What if your one follower is you? What if your one follower is Obama? Like if you have one follower,
course.
it's not about how many, it's who and what can they do.
The quality too, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't understand what people think is going on here now, waiting for labels. Like, nobody has control but the internet. If you got SoundCloud and Spotify and Instagram and YouTube, you've got MTV, you've got this station, you've got the big state. Like, you've got distribution, So if you've got flames and you've got bars and you're fucking so great, put it out. But what's happening is people are insecure.
Of course.
People are overthinking shit. People are artists trying to make it perfect.
Sure.
It's ego.
I think it's ego though, but also too, I think sometimes it can be that the internet and social media can be a curse because they just come at you and they're attacking you.
Yeah, but when you
daily,
can't hear
know?
them, it doesn't matter. When you've got self-esteem, when
Yeah,
you've
for
got
sure.
good intent, when you know you're a good person, when you don't give a fuck about people's 2 cents, you know why I put out so much time? I can't hear them, but it works both ways. Let me explain this. I can't hear so I post something. First comment. You're full of shit. You're about you. You're a fucking snake oil salesman. You're a charlatan. Can't hear them. Next post. Gary V, you're Jesus. You walk on water. You've saved my life. Can't hear them. You can't hear them both ways. You can't pick and choose what you hear.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay,
You
yes.
got to stay in your own game. If they're telling you they're the greatest of all time, or if they're telling you you're the worst, you can't hear them. And when you get to that place when you can't hear them, then you start making content. Then you start living your life for real. It's just like high school. Remember in the beginning of the high school, you're worried about everybody's opinion, but then kind of by senior year, you got your clique.
Yeah, you're
You don't
good.
give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to get everybody in real life to get to the place they were in high school the last month of high school.
Gary, is everyone a business?
Everyone has the potential to do something now because of the way the internet happens.
Sure, everyone has an audience.
But look, your business might be you've always made honey. Right? Like your family came from somewhere where they had honeybees and you
Yeah.
came to America and grandma's still making honey in San Fernando Valley. And maybe that's your business. And guess what? Maybe that's $80,000 a year in selling honey on Instagram and Shopify. And guess what? That's amazing. Like to me, everyone's a business because I think everybody can make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month by buying and flipping stuff on eBay and Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And I have a funny feeling let me rephrase, I know there are millions of people who could use an extra $500 a month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that's paying a bill or whether that's going to a nicer hotel when they go on their one family vacation. And so I'm trying to shake people up and be like, yo, this is real. But if you're going to sit and dwell how you've been wronged or why it's not for you or that your aunt stole your car 9 years ago, like everybody's looking back, right? And looking back fucks with your neck.
Totally. Gary, I read somewhere that millennials don't want to be told what to do, but they all need to be told what to do.
Listen, I'm so tired of old people judging millennials when they're the ones who fucking raised these millennials. Why don't we talk about the parents that raised the millennials,
Starts at home,
that
doesn't
created the entitlement,
Sure.
who didn't want their kids ever crying, who wanted their kids to be in games where 8th place trophies happened. Like, why don't we talk about the parents
Everyone
that
gets a
made them,
trophy.
like we
These millennials were created by somebody.
100
And taught by somebody.
and
Yeah,
100.
yeah,
So
you're
there's
right.
that. And then number 2, like, here's my thing. It doesn't matter what that report says. Like, first of all, I know a ton of millennials that bleed out of their eyes 19 hours a day and want it. So, that's just, like, it's funny. We've gotten real politically correct about not being prejudiced about, skin color or male or female, right? But we're shitting on millennials as a whole, and I think it's totally unacceptable. I think the millennials are the best. I love that they're so not materialistic. The problem is it manifested. So I was fired up. I was like, oh, these millennials get it. They're not buying as much shit.
Right.
What I didn't know was all that money was going to be to go to places so they could put on their Instagram so they could PR themselves living the life.
Sure.
So I'm like, right, I shouldn't have been stupid. People are always trying to front for other people. People are always living their lives for the Joneses. By the way, I'm going to find these Joneses. This is my new passion.
Yo.
This keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. Come on.
But that's what
stay in your
everybody's
truth.
doing. See,
Stand in your truth. That's really what it is.
Self-esteem, my guy. Like, if you really want to know what I want,
Yeah.
I want to get people into my funnel so I can tell them, like, yo, I suck at 99% of things.
Sure.
So does everybody else. So don't put anybody else on a pedestal. Know that you're good at some things. Know that you're not good at some things.
It's okay.
It's okay. Listen, I wish I could freestyle. When you were like, yo, before we started this, like,
Yeah, Gary V's gonna freestyle for us.
I'm
man.
not.
Let's get it.
I'm
What kind of
not
beat you want,
because
Gary?
I stay in my lane.
That's right. Smart. Very smart.
You know, like
Well, you
I
have
wish
people
I
out there-
could.
Gary, there's people out
Man,
there
by the
that
way, if
say,
I could, it'd be over. I would kill everybody in this game. I just want everybody to know.
Yeah, I think we have some targets right there. Yeah.
I get it. I might have to.
Well, there's people out there that say, I want to be a rapper. I want to
Yep.
be a motivational speaker,
Yep.
a business owner. I want to
Yep.
be on the radio.
Yep.
I want to act and stuff
Yep.
like that. But shouldn't they narrow it down to one thing, get that thing straight, and then use that as a vehicle to take you elsewhere?
If they were a good student, which means they're very focused and they're capable of concentrating and they've got a little bit of that anal DNA, yes. But if they're like me and an entrepreneur, I say go taste, be an artist, be ridiculous, go try a little something of everything. So it comes back to self-awareness, my guy. There is no one path. The only path is like, do you know yourself? And more importantly, that voice inside your own head, a lot of times people don't understand that was put in your head. A lot of people, when I'm like, don't listen to anybody but yourself, I'll get that DM. They'll be like, yo, I love that. My problem is I'm telling myself I suck. And then I have to DM them like, yo, you didn't. Like, that isn't you. That's your mom or dad that put that in your head. And now you believe it and you think it's your own voice.
Yep.
Nobody starts off thinking they suck. And so I think it's about self-awareness, my guy.
I love the words of wisdom, something that everyone needs to hear. You're going to die. You're going to die.
So I was
Get
just
to
what
it
it
now.
is.
Get
It's just
to it
what it
now
is.
because you're
Yes.
going to die.
I know a lot.
That's facts, dog.
I know a lot of people listening don't know who I am. Somebody rolled up on me. It was a clip that went viral on the internet. She was like, yo, give me some words of wisdom. I was like, I was in the car. I got scared for a minute. Like, she was like,
me a
carjacking me.
me
I
a
was like, so I rolled down the window and she's like, 3 words of wisdom. I'm like, you're going to die. Which is really 4 because it's you are, but I was like, you're gonna die, and it went
get technical.
and it went exactly because I failed English. I don't know why I'm doing that now. Listen, I got no grammar skills. Yeah, man, I don't understand what people are thinking. 400 scientists, and take it for what it is. The current belief among scientists is the odds of being a human being are 400 trillion to 1. Everybody listening on the radio right now is more likely to win the lotto 9 times than actually be alive. That's how ridiculously lucky we actually are. And by the way, if you're listening to this right, you know what I love? I love perspective. If you're listening to this right now, it means you have the ability to listen to this right now, which means you live in America. It means that you have some sort of device that allows you to listen to this. I just don't think people understand how lucky they have it, no matter how shitty they think they have it. I don't think people have perspective. I don't think people understand what's going on in the world. I don't think they understand what dictatorship really is.
Sure.
I don't think they know what suppression really is.
Clean water.
My guy, I'm on the board of a charity water. There are millions of people in Africa walking 6 miles a day just to get clean water.
sad.
Go to your sink right now.
That's insane.
And so, like,
Be thankful.
be
Yes.
grateful for what
Yes.
you've got. But the problem is everybody's worried about what they don't have versus what they do have, right? Oh, I don't have that BMW. Oh, I don't have that girl. Oh, I don't have that chain.
Yep.
Instead of like, I got a roof, I got food, and like, I don't know,
What about
man.
the cats that are making money off of trolling.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Tekashi.
I see. So look, I think with 6ix9ine and things of that nature, here's my point of view on it from afar. I think that people are always going to judge the new thing. Like, the people that have been in the game for a while are going to think it's trolling, but go talk to 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds, and you're going to judge them the same way you were judged when you fucked with KRS-One or Biggie. So, like, you know, like,
NWA.
yeah, like, I was told by my parents' friends, like, you can't listen to fucking Snoop Dogg. Like, that's marijuana. Like, you know, like, so here's what I would say. Judgment is a weakness. And so instead of judging what's going on with the punk rappers and that whole movement, I'm watching it and I'm trying to understand, why does a 13-year-old girl in Toronto fuck with Killy, love Lil Pump? That's the bigger and more important question. And I would tell hip hop as a whole, yo, go look back at what happened to rock and roll, right? There was that moment in the late 70s and early 80s when the Clash and the Sex Pistols and the Ramones came out, and they were representing the angst of the youth.
Sure.
Listen, Jay-Z rapping about fucking $40 million paintings and fucking his girl against it doesn't resonate with 13-year-old Rick no more. So what do I think about them trolling? I think that's what the establishment calls it. I think they're hitting a nerve with 12 to 14-year-olds that a lot of people are missing.
Gary, how can an independent artist earn a six-figure income? An independent artist.
Building fans by putting out tons of music for free on Spotify and SoundCloud and social media so that they create enough of demand so they can start getting paid for shows.
People watching right now are going to start doing that.
T Grizzly,
Yes.
guys, T Grizzly comes out of fucking jail after
God, T. Grizzly.
4.5 years
Yeah.
and makes one song in 4.5 days after that pops.
Out of here.
And here's what's up. You go from being locked up for a half decade to putting out one fucking video and a song. If you've got talent, this is about talent.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, 72 hours later, 21 Savage is DMing you. Like, come through. So the answer is very easily. Here's the problem. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to make you happy and win. Most of the people listening right now don't have the talent. I know
that's
you.
the truth, and that's okay.
And that is okay.
It's okay.
And by the way, Travis Mills, like, it was interesting when I was talking to him once. He was like, yo, I realized maybe I wasn't the artist, but maybe I could manage. Like, you could find, like, if you love it, right? By the way, some of the cats in this room probably, when you guys were 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, might have thought you wanted to be the artist.
Yeah.
But you
I wanted to be a singer, but I can't sing.
and
I
there
wanted
it
to
is.
rap, I wanted
Right?
to sing,
Right?
I wanted to
Right?
dance.
And why you're happier than most, in my opinion, I don't know you like
I
that,
don't
and that's
know
what I
if
mean.
happy
And
is-
but why?
Gary.
Respect. But what I would say is, kudos to you to be like, yeah, look, that you understood that what you weren't going to be,
Well, you have to be
Queen Latifah. So
brutally
you had
honest
to
with
fucking.
yourself.
That's it.
You gotta be
Look,
brutally
there's a
honest with
million things I wish I was. There's a million things I wish I was.
Is self-deprecation safe?
Oh, I like self-deprecation.
Yeah.
I do. I
Some
always.
people don't say. Some people say don't say that to yourself because you're holding yourself back.
Yeah, but look who's winning, right? Like look at how Drake plays. Like, self-deprecation's a strength. Go watch 8 Mile. Go watch the last scene.
Yep.
Go watch it again. What does Rabbit do? What does he do?
Talk shit
He
first
shits
about
on
himself.
himself. Left you with nothing. But I know something about you. And so that's the game, man. Get naked. Don't let anybody have anything over you. Then you're fucking unstoppable.
I love it.
Bet you don't get naked, but we've seen that before. You feel me, Gary V? What do you do to relax, man?
Yeah, for
What do
real.
you
You're
think?
always
Anything he
working,
wants
dog.
to do.
You're always working.
You know what's
It's got to be
funny,
something
man?
you just do that just helps you.
Jets football is real good for me, for real.
No,
like,
because that can get intense as
but
well.
I'll explain
as a
why.
fan.
What is it?
There's
What
a
is it?
Jets football.
Oh, I get way more ridiculous at Jets football than I do. You want to see a real version of me? Come watch me go visit Foxborough and want to fight all of Boston. And I can't fight
You're
for
that
real
guy,
like that.
you're that guy,
I'm
yeah,
that guy.
yeah,
I get
yeah.
sports muscle. You know how some people get drunk and want to fight?
Yeah.
I put on a Jets jersey and want to fight, which is a bad strategy because I don't think I can beat up most of the people that I try to fight with,
Yeah.
but I get so blacked out and
Yeah,
angry.
That
'cause-
happens to a lot of Mexicans out here. You throw on a Dodgers jersey, you instantly want to fight somebody, or some pot comes on, you instantly want to fight somebody.
Right,
It's
you get
true.
that little gangsta mode
It's
when
true.
you hear it. Yes.
It's true. That's what I get in Jet games. Look, I get ridiculous at those games, but there's a part of my brain that knows that it's football. And even though I cry and get upset and want to fight, it does relax me. It's the one place on earth.
Yep.
So here's the one thing people don't know about entrepreneurship. It's lonely and it fucks with you. You know why I hate being in LA? Because my headquarters is in New York. And when I wake up at 6 a.m., my world's already in motion.
Yep. You're a
And
few
I
hours
have,
behind.
and I have anxiety because I'm a firefighter. Everything that breaks at my company is on me. I'm the last line of defense. It's like being a goalie. It's a different mindset,
up to you, yeah.
right? So, to me, the one place on earth where I'm not worried about being the firefighter or the goalie is those 3 hours on Sunday, 16 times a year.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. And so that's why I
safe
think
place, right?
it's my safe place. It's a weird safe place. You know the other weird places I like? The shower and the airplane.
Oh man. Shower, best ideas in the shower.
The other places that it's a little harder to get to me. And when internet was put on the plane, my shit got fucked up.
Oh, no.
I'm an old cat for everybody. I used to remember internet not being on the plane and I was doing business, and that was the best because nobody could
Got
bother
some
me.
downtime. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Jason, do you have a question? Jason has a question.
Yeah, Jason's been in the corner with some good reactions. He's been firing me up.
Yeah.
No, I agree with everything that you're saying.
Appreciate it.
I've been hit up on my Twitter to sell people's brands and post everything. I only have 11K following,
Yep.
and I get 5 million impressions every month,
Okay.
and about I want to say it's like 82,000 profile visits. I
Okay.
look through the analytics and stuff like that.
You have a real community. Is
Yeah,
what I'm hearing. So okay,
basically.
and so yeah, exactly. Like
What-
that's
the-
depth versus width. Like back to wearing a suit when it's not really you. All those cats that bought 500,000 followers, we know you did.
Stupid.
We can see you.
And
Yes.
so you won for a second. You're like, oh, you got 537, and then you look and it's like you have 9 fake likes.
You win
So
for
go
a
ahead.
segment, but then they
No,
judge you
so
harsh.
my thing was like,
Should
there's
I?
some stuff that I want to, but then like the money's good. The stuff
Yep.
that they're asking me and stuff like
What's
that.
holding you back?
Yeah.
My
You don't
thing
wanna
is
sell
it
out?
too early or something like that. Or
Here's what I would say. I always tell people this. There's nothing you're ever going to do in life outside of murder and a couple of other heinous crimes that you can't get out of.
Right.
Like what? You're going to post some fresh hoodie and like get paid, or like a energy drink and get paid, and what? Like everyone's going to leave or it's going to slow you down? Absolutely not. You're going to learn.
Okay.
And so do I think of your 11,000, 87 of them are going to be like, yo, fuck you, you sold out? Of course I do.
Right.
But when you can't hear them,
No, obviously, yeah. I never pay attention to the comments and stuff like that. I just
well, then there's nothing else. If you actually aren't paying attention, if you can't hear them because you know you're doing the right thing, which is probably why you built an actual audience, well, now you're just being ideological.
right.
Now you're just playing with yourself.
Yeah, that's my main thing.
And
My guy,
playing with
my
himself.
guy,
yourselves,
my
you
guy.
And playing with himself.
That's probably
is
the best
something
thing
he
you're
does-
doing.
Gary,
About
playing
that.
with himself is something he does very well.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Speaking of that, you know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Lechero here into
Yep.
a side hustle.
Okay.
You know, selling his DNA, my guy. Is that a vibe?
He wants to take him to the
Hey.
bank.
Yo, I'm
Hey,
trying to make money.
I'm
bro.
a big fan of supply and demand. If you've got too much supply,
it, bro.
unload it.
Yeah.
Unload it.
I mean, he's loaded as well. You know
Let's
what I'm
go.
It's a
saying?
heavy load, man.
Gary V, Crushing It, the book. It's
Yes.
out now.
Yes.
There's so much that you do and that you have your hands on. I mean, you know, you're running your own successful company,
Yep.
but then you're also on the gram. And, you know, this woman walked up to you the other day, I believe, and said that she was going to, basically shoot herself,
Yes.
right? And she caught wind of your content and it
Yeah.
saved her life.
Yeah, dude, I actually am not even like sure I'm glad I put that out there, because like even when you bring it up right now, like it's super hard, man.
whoa,
like
yeah.
it's like I don't think I'll accomplish anything in my life. Like it's kind of weird now living the rest of my life knowing that moment at so I was I dropped a sneaker. You know, I'm doing this collab with K Swiss. And she comes up in line and she hands me a gun license.
Yep.
And she's like, I want you to have this. And I'm like, for what? And she's like, I don't need it no more. And I thought it was gonna be like a political statement.
Yeah.
Like that's really where my head first
Right,
went.
right.
And then she kind of like her face and voice changed, and then I knew exactly what was happening. I was like, you know, I genuinely think I will buy the New York Jets, and I think that America will cheer for me like no other, because for 30 years I'm going to put it in the system, and everyone's going to really want me to. And then when it happens, everyone's going to be like, yo, that's fucking crazy. We just watched him over 30 years do it, said he was going to do it, and he did it. But I kind of felt in that moment like, fuck, that's not going to feel as good as this moment feels. So yeah, man, listen, putting out positive messages without dilution and delusion, right? So like I'm not out there saying like wish shit to death. I'm not a motivational speaker that wants you to pay me $5,000 to be your coach. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. Super shots fired. Super shots fired.
Designer.
I don't. When people say they want to change your life, but real quick, give me 6,000 to do it. You're not changing shit.
Asshole.
You know, and so I yeah, man, I want I'm chasing admiration, my guy.
That's right.
You know what admiration feels like? Like if anybody's got it out there, if you have it from one person, your little niece, like
It's amazing.
admiration. Like, do you know what I felt like coming in here today?
So good.
Taking picture with her in
Yeah.
the front, like that's nice.
Yeah, man.
That I knew how to make money. I know how to make money. I don't need the people watching me on the gram or YouTube or my podcast to give me their money. I've always known how to do that. I want your fucking admiration.
And sometimes I think with that comes responsibility too.
Oh, well, that's the
You know what I
part.
mean?
Major,
Absolutely,
major,
yes.
yeah. Because you
Yes.
become a role model.
See, my shoulders are broad as fuck. That's something I've realized.
Yeah.
Like I can put it. Like I love pressure. I'm only taking. Thank God I'm not a basketball player. I would have taken the last shot in every game I played, even if I had to block my. If the
feel
coach was
me?
like, "Yo," like even if the coach was like, "Yo, we're gonna give it to the other guy because they're gonna triple team you,"
Nah, my
I
guy.
would have passed it and then blocked my own guy and then fucking shot it. Like,
right.
I want all the pressure.
Yeah, you should
I
know
want
how to work
all
under
the pressure.
and how to
Yeah, it's
strive
true.
under tremendous pressure. You feel me?
I want the pressure of look in 7 years. A lot of people are going to be rolling up on me and be like, okay, cool. Now bet 100 million people fuck with you for real and they're all about you. Now what? I'm like, now we keep going. I'm not scared of like, I know who I am. For example, could I make a mistake in my life?
Sure.
100. What am I going to do? I'm going to be like, hello, America, I fucked up.
That's right.
I'm gonna own my shit.
Own up to it.
Like, and as long as it's not like some crazy shit like OJ, right? Like I'll be okay.
You'll be all right.
Like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
make mistakes. It's when you fucking think you're better than America and you can trick them is when we really get mad.
Mm-hmm.
We're not mad about the mistake. We're mad about the cover up because then you're treating us like suckers and we don't like that.
Nah, hell no.
Right?
My guy, Gary V, you're my guy.
I appreciate it, my guy.
My guy.
You're my guy too, my guy.
My guy. You are my guy.
Thank you, my man. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm serious, my guy.
I appreciate it.
You are my guy.
How do you
I appreciate that.
How do you feel about people filming good deeds and posting them on the internet? You think
I
that's
think
good
you
or
have to
bad?
you have to closely pay attention to the intent.
Yep.
Right? So like Taylor Swift was real smart. She's a gangster. Just so everybody knows,
Gangsters
Taylor Swift is a gangster
Okay.
in the world that I play, mental warfare. She knows how to do it. Kendrick Lamar knows how to do it.
Does Kanye know how to do it?
You know what the truth is? You'll love this. This is the truth. One thing you'll love about me is I don't like talking when I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I haven't looked at Kanye. It's funny. Everybody watches Kanye so heavy. I haven't really dug deep enough to really know, especially first of all that putting music on Tidal and shit, like I haven't listened to the last 3 albums Kanye's come out with. I see what he's doing. Like, I understand what he's doing in the culture. The answer is, straight truth, I'm not sure. But I know that if you're putting out good deeds to build your brand and only your brand, right? Then I think that you have to be careful about that. I'll tell you something. You know what? You just asked a very important question. I'm glad I get to say this. I pretty much really didn't think I was going to put out that video with that woman. Because I was like, is it too self-serving?
Is it too self?
Is it too self?
Am I jacking myself off here? Sure.
100%. I was watching it and watching it and watching it, and I was like, no,
So you
no.
question your content as well.
My guy, I hold myself accountable more than anything
That's
else
right.
I do in my life. Because if I'm going to talk all this shit that I'm going to bring value and I'm going to
you gotta
fight off
back
all,
it up, my
you
guy.
got to back it up.
But you know
Because
what,
if I
Gary?
make, my man, if I slip, listen real quick, if I slip once, I've given up all the leverage. I might as well have taken $100 million a year. I'm leaving so much on the table not to slip up. Go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say though is, you're right. You have to see the intent. I think that some people, when they do it with the sincerity and they're genuine, I think it should be, because I think right now, if you look outside, there's a hurting world.
100%.
Right now. The world is hurting. It's
100.
just what it is.
It's holy war, man.
Yes, and we need to promote that positivity, and we need to see it more so we can help these people.
But again, here's the thing yes. And now what I'm all about, because I want it to be the next 100 years, I want to talk more about the inside. Here's what I mean by that. That Demi Lovato shit fucks with me.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because as soon as I hear that news, I go and watch her last 15 things she put out in the world. And that's when I start getting scared.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what they're going to remember you by.
No, because she's painting a picture that wasn't true. And she's Demi fucking Lovato. So what's Enrique in the Valley doing? Do you understand?
Sure.
And that's why I'm trying to say, like, yo, fucking let's have the real conversation, which is like, you don't need to be held up to, you know how much empathy I have for Demi? I don't know her like that, but I pay attention. Like, you're always worried about your image, what you look like, I have so much empathy for women. Like, you always are worried about, what do you look like? Where's your weight out? For guys, like, how alpha are you? How much you flexing? What you got on you? How thick's your chain? Like, I'm just feeling bowed out here. Like, I'm walking out here like, I don't know what to say, man.
We are at war with ourselves, Gary.
Bingo. Because all that hurting world out there, people don't have empathy for the other side. The right hates the left, but the left hates the right.
Yeah, I know.
And like, nobody's got
know.
empathy. You don't know what it's like to live in Wisconsin in a shit town where fucking everything's falling apart. And everybody in New York's telling you what guy to be. You're like, fuck you. So like, look, we've got to be thoughtful. We don't have enough empathy out here. Empathy's the superpower. I don't think anybody's got it good.
It's at all-time
I
low,
look at
man.
everything, I don't think anybody's got, I don't know what's going on in your mind. And so, yeah, man. So what do I think? Let me tell you why I put out the piece of content with that woman. Because I know I have a lot of content providers watching me, and I want them to realize that if they're actually happy, they have a responsibility to put out that content because it might penetrate somebody else's head and change the course of their lives. So that was a weird one. That was for the people that follow me that are on the mindset like I am to encourage them to do more.
Gary V, my
My
guy.
Thank you, my man.
Go back and
Gary
forth with
V,
me.
man.
My guy.
My guy, thank you so much for having
You
me.
are my guy, my guy.
You're my guy.
My guy.
Yes, my guy.
Listen, my guy.
Yes, sir.
You're my guy, my guy.
And you're my guy, my guy.
My guy, my guy.
My
Thank
guy.
you.
There it is.
Gary
Ooh,
V,
Gary V in the
Cruz Show,
building.
Power 106,
Yes.
#1 for hip hop. You're welcome.